Out of the 13 colonies that later became America's first states, only the middle colonies, those that lay in between New England and the southern colonies, were not originally founded by England. These were the colonies of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. The stories of how the middle colonies came to be make up a fascinating chapter in the colonial history of the United States. And so the greatest consequence of colonization was a massive transplanting of people from the continents of Europe and Africa across thousands of miles of ocean. The transplanted people changed the landscape of the new continent. They cut down dense forests across thousands of square miles of countryside and replaced them with cultivated fields. The small, mostly temporary villages of Native Americans were often replaced by large colonial cities and towns with permanent buildings of brick and stone, built in the architectural styles of Europe. European technology came with the immigrants too, and it was used to tame the land and create a new country. Technology was a byproduct of Europe's long fascination with science, and had produced very sophisticated tools and machines, chemicals, navigational instruments, devices for keeping time, guns, and so forth. Items that were virtually unknown to the native cultures of America before the colonists arrived. For the colonists, the biggest changes came not just from living in a mostly untamed land, but from being thrown into the American cultural melting pot that was made up of people from many different parts of the world. And it was from the combination of so many differing ideas and customs that the diverse and amazing culture of the United States was to emerge. Among England's 13 colonies in America, the New England colonies, those of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire, shared a common Puritan heritage. This was because the soil was too rocky and thin to support many large farms. In New England, thousands of heavy rocks had to be cleared from the fields and piled up into stone walls before any farming could be done. Today, these ancient stone walls are a very familiar sight all across the New England countryside. Clearing fields for farming also involved removing trees. This produced logs that in turn were converted into lumber that was often exported to England, where it was in short supply because the forests had been seriously depleted. Some wood was also used to produce the millions of barrels that were used in colonial times for shipping just about everything. In New England, fishing and whaling were mainstays of the region's economy, and countless barrels both of whale oil and preserved fish were shipped from its ports. There were even a few factories in the New England colonies where manufactured goods were produced. Here at the Saugus Iron Works, just outside of Boston, Puritans started the first successful iron-making factory way back in 1646. It used water power as a source of energy to run the equipment, such as lifting this huge hammer used to pound the iron into special shapes, and the bellows that kept the fires burning hot. Some of the iron made here was sent back to England, but most was used in colonial blacksmith shops, where it was turned into nails and tools. Iron products were sometimes used in shipbuilding. That was another big industry in New England. In colonial times, large numbers of ships manufactured in New England plied the transatlantic trade routes and created a prosperous regional shipping trade.